We're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.
Now it's on.
Yeah, now
it's on.
Muted.
I gotta trust you.
Yeah, you got to trust me a little more, but don't trust me now though because I got to get.
Where are we?
I'm looking.
Oh, I jinxed it. There we are.
It's my fault. It's my fault. I added some stuff and then I was like out of the loop. My bad.
What up?
What up?
We're back.
Dog? You're good. I'm doing background shit.
What up? It's your boy Money Malank. We're here again with the White Weekend.
Yeah,
Grizzly Adam.
You just found out what that we were talking about it literally like two seconds ago. You found out what that one image of that person, that bald-headed person
From last episode.
The cover art that I put on there. Yeah, the thumbnail. Yeah.
That's what the Weekend would look like if he was
It's
bald.
supposed to be a thumbnail, or it's supposed to be an AI-generated image of the Weekend if he were bald. That's what it's supposed
now,
to be.
that's one step. The next step is make him white, and we have that image. It's right here.
He looks like you were mentioning. He looks like a mutual friend that we have that we know. I'm gonna do you for a second. Well, I'm not gonna name him specifically. I'm gonna make a name. His name is James.
James.
That's the name I'm gonna make up for him.
Old Jimmy.
Old Jimmy T.
Did you ever get Jimmy's on your ice cream?
No.
Sprinkles?
What's Jimmy?
Sprinkle.
It's Sprinkle? Is that what they call
We
them?
call them sprinkles, but some people call them Jimmy's.
I call them Sprinkles. You remember Ponderosa?
Hell yeah, I remember Ponderosa.
Ponderosa had back in his day, Ponderosa, for those of you that don't know, is supposed to be a steakhouse, but nobody went there for the fucking steaks. You won't go there for the buffet. That's what you go there for. You went there for the buffet.
I'm gonna stop you. Oh, I'm gonna stop you there because you're not wrong. I remember going there with like my grandparents as a kid, and they'd be like, "Okay, you got to pick something to eat." I'm just like, I want the buffet.
Yeah.
But you had to pick an entree, and the buffet came with the entree.
Really?
You had to order like fried chicken or steak. That's how it worked at Ponderosa. Like they had a full menu.
We never did that. Every single time we went to Ponderosa when I was a kid, we would just say, we're here for the buffet. And we was like, all right, cool.
There might have been an option to be buffet only. I don't know. But I was like scolded. Like, you have to pick something off this menu, and the buffet is an add-on. What's the point of the
fucking entree? Go get the goddamn buffet.
No
All the
wonder
food's there.
Americans are so fat.
They got pizza. They got taco stuff. They got fried chicken on the buffet. They got mashed potatoes. They have it was a hodgepodge of all different kinds of bullshit on there, and it was the fucking greatest shit.
Yeah, it was.
So you go up one time, you're like, I'm gonna have fried chicken and a slice of pizza. Go up the next set, I'm gonna make some tacos. Fucking great.
It's game
and
over.
then for dessert, they had a full blown ice cream machine.
Yes, they did with Jimmy's.
For soft serve ice cream, and like they had other shit. They had like brownies and cookies and shit like that. Dude, they had the best chocolate chip cookies. Those chocolate cookies were legit.
Yeah.
I stole a lot of. I would take cookies and like put them on my grandma's purse. Like, here, I would napkin this up, put it in there. That's for later.
I would go so big back on a Ponderosa buffet right now. Are there any Ponderosas still active?
There's one open in PA somewhere. I don't remember where it is. I looked this up a little, not more than like a month ago, actually. There's one single Ponderosa. Where your brain's at,
yeah.
There's one single Ponderosa that is open somewhere in PA. I can't remember where.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Ponderosa trip.
Road trip. All right.
I'm going to look it up right now, actually. I'm curious.
Do it. Adam.
Scotty.
We're coming to you live on YouTube.
This is the first Monday we've ever done.
This is all my rowdy friends are here on Monday night. How about that? We're trying a Monday night. We're testing the waters here.
We're raw dogging this Monday night.
Yeah, Mondays. We'll see if this works. We'll see if this works out. But we're here on a Monday doing the show for our fans. We got a big show. We got a really big show. We got tons of content. Probably not going to get it all done, but we're going to do as much as we can. We have a special guest call phoning in later.
Oh, did we?
We do. I forgot to tell you this. Yeah, we have
Butler, PA. That's where the last
Butler's
Ponderosa.
like close.
Butler,
oh my God,
PA,
we're
that's
going.
where the last Ponderosa
We're
exists.
effing going. We're going to. I thought you were going to be like, oh, it's in Scranton or it's
Philadelphia.
No, it is fucking Butler.
It is in Butler, PA. That's the last.
Doable.
I don't know if it's the last Ponderosa that exists, but it's the last one that is in PA. Butler. That's a hop, skip, and a jump.
So,
right, so you were saying
I don't know if
something?
you
You
know,
were saying
a couple shows ago, we got a mailbag from a friend of the show, Robert Hopkins. Yes. He is a resident flat earther.
Oh, really?
He is a big, huge MAGA guy.
Did he legit email us?
Yeah. Oh, remember, I read it on the show. He contacted us. He got a hold of us. I think it was on a DM.
The DM.
It was an FYD.
Yeah. Okay.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
FYD.
There's a follow-up to the story?
Yes. Well, we've had our back and forth, and I said, hey,
Call him a cunt?
let's just. I did that to Elon Musk, and we'll talk about him in a little bit.
Oh,
We'll talk about Elon in a little bit.
There's big news.
We'll talk about Elon in a minute, but yeah, I didn't want to get banned again like I did for our Twitter. Speaking of, we do no longer have the Forward Distraction Twitter. Elon banned us because I called him a cunt. So if you need to tweet Forward Distraction, you can tweet us at the real Donald Trump.
There you go.
That's how we'll get our messages.
Didn't that get taken down?
It's going to.
It's going. I thought it was. I thought it was already taken down.
I don't know. Maybe it has at this point, but yeah.
Man,
Trump's going to get banned again.
He loves that free speech. Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
First he banned. First Musk bans FYD's Twitter, and now he's going to ban Donald Trump's Twitter.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that. But Robert Hopkins, I told him, hey, call into the show. So he's going to be calling in a little bit later. So,
all right.
So when that happens, but we got some stuff to talk about with him. Let's do a little new segment here. It's called Robert Hopkins Week of Facebook. Yeah, I didn't have a sound pulled up for that.
I was going to say, where's the music? Give me something. Give me a little something. Push it harder.
I am so bad at the pushing of the buttons.
You got to push it harder.
Okay, so I have a couple photos that I want to show, and this will just give our viewers the idea. And if you're listening to this podcast the old-fashioned way, Grizzly Adam here will do his best to
Grizzled hotcakes, sir.
Explain.
Grizzled hotcakes.
Grizzled
Get the name right. That's my new name for the next couple months. Grizzled hotcakes.
It's gonna be hard for me to call you a hot cake. No offense.
I've gone back.
It is Pride Month.
I've gone back to the gym, and I'm getting swole again.
Yeah.
I'm hitting it hard.
I'm gonna go with you.
I'm going. Yeah. You got to come with me. You've been talking about it. I'm calling you out.
Happy
I'm
Pride.
calling you up.
All right, so let's take a look at our first post from Robert Hopkins.
All right, so this is image number one.
Image number uno.
Image number one.
Okay, it's this one.
All right.
It's a picture of the moon. Would you like to read it?
It says, "Let's stop pretending we went to the moon."
We didn't go to the moon, apparently.
So, pinching my fucking.
You are.
What's the nose bridge?
Yeah,
whatever that's called.
That's where you get headaches sometimes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All these people, this goes right up there with flat earthers.
Yeah.
What's the motivation for the lie? Let's say the lie is true. What's the benefit of the lie saying that we lied that we went to the moon? Yeah, crack it, sir. What's the benefit? What do they get out of lying that we went to the moon? There's no monetary gain for it. Like, what is the point?
Maybe you can ask him when he gets on.
Like what's the big fucking deal? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So stop pretending we went to the moon. Whether we went to the moon or not doesn't change really much of anything. So fuck off. So that's image number one, sir.
Okay, let's go to image number two.
All right, image number two. We got it pulled up right here.
Okay, go ahead and read this one.
I got to squint a little bit. No good parent should ever be okay with pride flags in their children's classrooms. It's the fucking rainbow. It's a rainbow.
I mean, the gall, the wherewithal to post that
when I was a
Pride
kid,
Month.
I used to draw fucking rainbows sometimes.
I still draw fucking rainbows.
It's
all
a rainbow.
Time.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
All these people that are
Roy G. Biv.
all these people that are bitching about the fact that, oh my God, pride month. What about our service members and blah blah blah? What about them?
I see that all the time on social media.
When there's any type of service month going on, I never see any of you posting about how you're proud to support the service members and stuff like this. It's only until other people that you disagree with have their time, you're like, what about this person? What about that person's month? Fuck off. First of all, if you paid attention to any of those fucking calendars, there's a holiday for every goddamn day. There's like 15 different holidays for a bunch of different stuff every day. So
the outrage over Pride Month, and the thing I'm seeing is a lot of people on the right are saying, we're going to make June Veterans Month. Veterans
already have a month.
It was last month.
Yes.
It was May.
May is Veterans Month.
And they didn't give a shit about it.
There was no posting during Veterans Month.
They don't care about the veterans. They're just anti-LGBTQA+. They don't want a Veterans Month. They just don't want a Pride Month. That's what it is.
Scott came in hot today. Scott came in hot today.
I did.
You came in on fire.
We were supposed to start recording like 2 hours ago. We watched a movie. We watched a shitty movie, and we've been drinking the whole time.
We had to watch the Core Cinema.
I'm going to black out before the show's over. It's going to be fun. But no, they don't care about the veterans.
They don't give a fuck at all.
Last month was Veterans Month. This month is Pride Month. And I intend to celebrate, and I got some questions for Bobby when he calls in later. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to this call, and I'm wondering what's going to happen. I wonder what's going to be going on. I'm looking forward to it.
So, you know what? While I don't know if I want to go here. I've been like hogging up the airwaves. I know what you want to talk about. Let's save that.
You can save it, yeah.
Because while we're
I have two things I want to talk about. One, the other one's more entertainment related. So
while we're on Pride, I want to bring something up. Have you ever heard of the person named Lily Tino?
The name sounds familiar, but I don't know.
She is a transgender woman, and she is a content creator, an influencer, media personality. I do not follow her on any social medias, but she was coming up on my TikTok big time because, as you know, our viewers, our listeners, our friends of the show know, I am a huge, enormous Disney fan.
Yes.
And this Lily Tino recently went to Walt Disney World. I actually don't know. I don't know if she went to Walt Disney World or Disneyland. I'm not sure. But she went to one of the Disney parks, and she was creating content while she was there. She was live streaming. Yeah. She was making
as the younger generation tends to do today. Yeah, making live streaming.
And a lot of her content, apparently, like I said, I don't watch her content. I don't subscribe to her. But a lot of her content is transgender related.
Okay.
It's great during Pride Month because it's like what is accepting of Pride, what isn't,
Yeah.
I'm not going to vouch for this person at all because I don't know them. But apparently she went into bathrooms to use restrooms, and she was recording in the bathrooms, and she was rating the bathrooms, and she was talking about the bathrooms. And after the fact, people lost their minds and have been attacking her all over the internet because apparently when she was recording, allegedly you could see other people in the bathroom. And that, you're right. That's not good. That's not good.
You shouldn't be recording in a bathroom.
I watch a lot,
unless it's like a single stall bathroom where it's like pure like open and shut door.
I agree.
You shouldn't be recording in a bathroom. You should not.
Let me just say, I watch a lot of Disney content creators on YouTube and TikTok.
Yeah.
And I have seen many influencers and many content creators record in bathrooms. Because, speaking from personal experience, bathrooms at the Disney parks are vitally, vitally important.
They're probably also really, really disgusting, as most amusement parks probably are.
Who wants to go to the bathroom in a disgusting bathroom?
Yes.
Disney prides themselves on cleanliness, but when you have thousands of people in and out, it's impossible.
Yeah.
So a lot of people do like to rate the hey, is this bathroom clean? Is this bathroom too far? So it's a thing that people do for content. I have seen many, many content creators do this. But Lily Tino does it, and now everybody's up in an uproar. And I agree, she should have not been recording other people in the bathroom.
But nobody should be recording.
No one should be doing that.
In the bathroom.
No one should be doing that. But I think the outrage is unjustified here because I think it's stemming from her being a transgender person.
Possible, yeah.
And I don't think...
Does she get a lot of outrage in other content she does? Does she get a lot of...
Like I said, I'm ignorant to that because I don't watch her stuff. I do know from some of the TikToks I've watched, which I don't know why this fucking matters, but she has not had bottom surgery, only top.
Okay.
And she is tall and muscular and can be, you know...
Yeah, but it's not like women can't be tall and muscular.
Exactly, Adam, exactly. I want to do more due diligence, so watch this space, because I'm going to get back to you on this. But, like, from what I understand, like, people are petitioning Disney to ban her from ever going to a Disney park again.
Off.
People are lobbying that TikTok deplatform her, which this is her income. That's her job. It's her livelihood.
A lot of liberal creators are being demonetized and being pulled off like TikTok. Like one of the big TikTok like pseudo like news outlets, Midas Touch.
Midas Touch is we talked about them.
They've been pulled off TikTok. Midas
really?
Touch. From what I understand, like the original the individual creators still have their personal accounts on there, but I guess the Midas Touch specific TikTok has been pulled off.
They're like a top 5 podcast in the country.
It's a lot. What's going on right now is a lot of like conservatives are like mass reporting, because I watch a lot of TikTok lives, like political lives, stuff like that. Numerous times I'll be watching a live and the live will just end, and I'll see like a video posted like a few minutes later, but like, oh yeah, a bunch of people mass reported me because we were just having a political debate and they didn't like what I was saying, and so they mass reported me and I got pulled off TikTok. So
I definitely think Lily Tino is wrong for recording other people in the bathroom.
Don't record in the bathroom.
Right. That's a no-no.
Period.
That's a no-no. And I forgot to mention this. I think there's also allegedly a lawsuit. Someone who was apparently in the background of one of the videos is suing. I don't know if that's true or not. I cannot confirm or deny that.
If I were her, I would just pull that particular video off.
Right.
I'd pull that down immediately.
But my point is, like, I think, and it's my theory, this is only a working theory I have, that the outrage is stemming from her being transgender.
Yeah, they're butthurt specifically about her.
I think it is. I think they're using...
Nobody gives a fuck about...
I think they're using the bathroom privacy as a Trojan horse.
Yeah.
To...
Probably, yes. Probably.
But we'll see what transpires here. On my TikTok algorithm, it is all the fucking rage right now. So I didn't know if you've seen this or not.
I have not even heard of this. This has not come across my algorithm at all. So...
Airway denied.
All right, I'll let you take the mic because I know.
You want me to take the mic? You want me to take the mic
before the jizz hardens in your drawers. All right, hold on. You need to get this shit. We've had quite the week.
It's been. I meant to add this soundbite. I wanted to add the soundbite from Independence Day where it's just. All the gizmos have been lighting up. It's been a real exciting 24 hours. I wanted to add that, but I forgot to do that.
Exciting! People are dying out there. That one.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I want. That's the one I wanted to add, and I forgot.
Exciting's not the word I would use.
Yeah.
You called this months ago.
I
Although
said it.
I will say it's not technically martial law
Not yet.
You called martial law.
But there is an aspect of it, like doing what Donald Trump has done is an act associated with martial law, i.e. federalizing the National Guard, which is what he has basically done. For those of you living under a fucking rock, you must be a hermit that doesn't have the internet connection. Originally, we were just going to talk about the fallout between Elon Musk and Donald Trump.
Oh, we got to talk about that too.
The girls are fighting.
Mommy and daddy are sleeping in separate
not
rooms.
Happy. And then something bigger happened, which I would argue, for those of you that are only listening, I'm just putting my finger up here. I would argue what happened recently in the events stemmed from trying to disassociate the information that came beforehand. So Elon Musk had a falling out with Donald Trump. He's no longer part of the administration. He left. And then they're all pissed off at each other. He's posting on X and stuff like that. And he recently posted on there about basically confirming, the reason why Donald Trump won't release the Epstein files because he's in them.
Right.
And so after that,
no doy.
all of a sudden, well, duh, we all fucking
no
knew.
doy. Like, we've been saying it for 10 damn years.
You posted a video on TikTok, and somebody was like, "Oh, so what? Now all of a sudden Elon Musk is telling the truth?" And I made a comment to that person. I was like, "No. That's not the issue. Okay, we all knew this is a thing. We all, and it's like, and that goes with another thing. Now that there's been a falling out, there's been a lot of like conservative TikTokers that like that. Like, oh, now all of a sudden liberals are saying that Elon Musk is good, and Elon Musk is right. It's like, no. Absolutely fucking not.
He's just saying now what we've been saying for 10 years.
Yes, he's still a piece of shit. We still don't accept him. We're not going to go buy Teslas. Sorry, not sorry. But like that person was talking about that, and I'm like, and I commented, I was like, no. He's not. It's not that we now all of a sudden believe Elon Musk is telling the truth. He's just confirming something we already knew. He's still a piece of shit. That's just what it is. I believe that. Conspiracy theory. I believe that a lot of what's gone down in LA recently is the reason why he pushed it so hard, and the reason why he's doing this is to try to divert the Musk-Trump fallout and the shit that he said about the Epstein file and stuff like that, so that the news media will no longer talk about Trump being on the Epstein list and talk about the California protests.
He sure as heck did not federalize the National Guard during the January 6th.
Yeah,
January
that's
7th.
wild. He wouldn't need to federalize because that would be the Washington D.C. So he would have.
But they don't have that. They don't have that. It was Virginia and Maryland. It was Virginia and Maryland, and he was like, "Why aren't Virginia and Maryland sending in the National Guard?" Like, you could have just as easily federalized them. Yeah. But there was a time where federalizing the National Guard was a bad thing.
He notably called the protests in a Truth Social post insurrectionists. They're apparently now they're insurrectionists in LA. So Saturday, and I texted you about this.
You did.
And you didn't respond to me. I was mad you didn't respond to me.
What was I going to say?
I want to talk about it. I wanted to just have a brief conversation.
I wanted to talk about it too, here on this medium where people watch us.
It's Saturday night, and I'm sitting here working.
Saturday night's all right for fighting.
Quote unquote working, and the reason why I say quote unquote because it's Saturday night. Who the fuck is going to call in for tech support? I'm just fucking monitoring servers. So I'm just sitting there twiddling my thumbs, thumb up my ass, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, what's going on with TikTok? Go on TikTok. It's like, the world is burning down. I was like, what the fuck is going on? It's like, LA is rioting right now. I was like, what is going on? I was like, first of all, they weren't riots. LA erupted in protests because ICE, they got pissed off about what ICE is doing. ICE is like going to restaurants, just snatch people off the streets.
ICE has been very horrible, which we knew.
They're the Gestapo, is what they are.
Yes.
They're the Gestapo. And so I was like, what the fuck is going on? Then I was scrolling through videos. It's like, oh my God, LA erupted in protests. Mm-hmm. Don't fuck around with LA. They erupted in protests, and there was not violence from what I've heard from people on the ground.
Right.
Live streamers, people that were at the protests and news media outlets. The protests were non-violent. The most amount of violence that came from protesters was maybe like throwing bottles at ICE cars and trucks. There wasn't much else from what I heard. I did see like a cop car on fire, but I don't know what the deal with that was.
But I think all of that happened after they started.
There was an escalation period.
Yes.
where ICE was like shooting rubber bullets at
not
people.
Not just
like
ICE, the California National Guard then was also. They were shooting
I'm just talking Saturday night.
Okay.
This is pre-National Guard deployed. Like it was just
the state
ICE
police was there,
and the state police, but it wasn't the National Guard. This is just the protest, state police, and ICE,
and the LA County Sheriff's Department.
Yes,
too. Yeah,
that's all it was. And then
Rodney King, they have a great track record.
Yeah, that's why I said don't fuck around with LA when it comes to stupid shit. But yeah, it erupted in a protest, mass protest going around on downtown LA, and then it erupted into like just basically they chased ICE out. They kind of chased ICE
got the fuck out.
They GTFO'd the fuck out of that city. They were gone. And
it was like a real life Grand Theft Auto. It was
crazy. It was nuts.
People won the first battle.
They did.
Yeah.
They absolutely did. And then Donald Trump was going on social media talking about federalizing the National Guard. Like, you need to send the National Guard in, blah, blah, blah. And then there was, like, all this stuff. And then, like, the following day, he federalized the National Guard and set those fuckers in.
Because Gavin Newsom wasn't going to do it.
No, he was absolutely not going to do it.
Because they're legal protesters.
I've heard that the LAPD has said that they're not going to work with ICE on their deportations. I don't know if that was a recent thing in the past like day or two, but I've heard that the LAPD has officially said like we're not going to assist the federal government with what
I don't think the LAPD was directly involved in this.
No.
It was the California State Police and the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah.
The LAPD was like not mobilized for this. I don't know why, but
I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird.
But yeah, it erupted that, and then Donald Trump decided to federalize the National Guard and send them in. So the National Guard is boots on the ground right now in LA. As of right now,
with guns and tanks
and guns. As of right now, the Marines have been mobilized. They're not sent out, but they're mobilized in LA right now. They have mobilized Marines.
National Guard, yes. We've had National Guard. But since the Civil War, Adam, has the United States military been dispatched?
As far as I know, no.
I don't
think so.
If there's a historian, please fact check us on that.
I'm not too strong with American history in terms of stuff like that. But as far as I know, there hasn't been. And I've been paying attention to a lot of other creators that are much smarter than me in terms of stuff like this, and they've said that they haven't. So this is like new territory. I did see a video. So like right now, ICE is kind of attacking people just because they're like throwing tear gas into crowds of protesters, trying to disperse them. It's basically like imagine what you've seen in like because. Missed this news. There was a massive protest in France recently.
Breaking news.
Like a couple days ago. Wait,
breaking news.
Wait, really? What?
I just got the notification. President Donald Trump sends the Marines to Los Angeles.
Really?
Yes. Like legitimately right now.
Right now?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Breaking news. Like you heard my phone go off?
Yeah, I heard. Yeah. More breaking news. I heard the ping again. Holy shit. So...
Wow, we're breaking news live here on For Distraction.
The President of the United States has officially sent Marines into L.A. He's basically waged war against American citizens. I'm going to say this for anybody out there sitting there saying like, you know, and I posted this on Facebook today for everybody who says both sides are equally bad. Name a Democratic president that set the military into an American city. I'll wait.
I'm sorry. I'm just.
No, that's fine. I'm just kind of
Lincoln.
But that was Civil War, right?
I guess they technically weren't American cities because they broke apart.
Yeah, they broke apart. Yeah, so that they were at war. They were at Civil War. So does this mean Donald Trump is declaring civil war? Apparently,
it's a big, beautiful civil war.
So Donald Trump, as of right now, Monday night, June 9th, has sent in the fucking Marines.
The Marines, yeah.
I'm really hoping because here's the thing. I was watching a lot of TikToks the past couple days.
By the way, that was Reuters that
Okay.
So
there were a lot of TikToks from people that were like former National Guards, people that were Marines, people that knew Marines, who they were posting. They were like, look. If he sends the Marines in, the Marines are not like as a former Marine, as a former National Guard person, as somebody who knows Marines, like they're not willing. They're pissed off about this, and they're not necessarily willing to turn their guns on American citizens. Like this can start. This is big.
This is big.
Like this is fucking major.
That's what a Nazi would say.
Or do.
This is like fucking like no wonder we can't progress as a society because history keeps fucking repeating itself. People are fucking stupid as shit. Like this is major. Like we're not really getting a lot of that on our end because we live in a small city. Barely a city where we live in.
So I wonder if Twitter, I mean not that we know because we're banned from it, is going to show what's going on in LA. Because,
absolutely.
Because
at this point, absolutely.
But listen, back when everything was going on with Palestine and Israel and Gaza and everything, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, they were all blocking that shit. And Facebook probably still will. But now that Trump is on the outs with Musk, he might put it in. During the Palestinian-Israel, it's still going on, but when the atrocities were at their heightest, we were watching that unfold on TikTok. And that's a big reason why they came for TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm watching stuff on TikTok right now in LA, but I'm not seeing it on Facebook. Which is surprise,
Jesus Christ! I open up TikTok just to kind of flip through stuff.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be bad.
It's all
All right, our friends from California. We have quite a few friends out there. I'm sure they're not watching live, but please.
So here's the
stay safe out there.
Here's the thing about the protests is that I've watched some content creators and I've listened to one or two podcasts from people that actually live out in LA who have commented a little bit on the protests, and all of them say, I haven't seen anything going like the news media makes it seem like LA's on fire. The entire city is erupted in chaos, and there's numerous content creators that are like, we know there's protests going on, but we're driving around the city as normal. It's a normal everyday thing.
Right.
We just know that there's protests going on and stuff like that. It's not affecting us. So it's not even like there's this massive riot that's going around the entire city. It's a protest that has now erupted into probably something bigger, but in a very small portion of the fucking city. So it's not even like there's any riots going on to warrant the mobilization of the National Guard or the Marines.
Back in 2020, I went to Minneapolis a month or two after the George Floyd riots in Minnesota. And we took a wrong turn. We drove through an area of town that was cinders and ash from being burnt down. And there was a Target that was boarded up. I think I told this on the podcast back then, but somebody had spray painted it said Blue Lives Splatter.
Jesus.
Yes.
Jesus.
And I'm like, oh shit.
That's rough.
Yeah. So
that's a little much.
That was the aftermath of what the George Floyd riots happened in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
This going on in LA is wild. But you have stories of ICE. There was the one story of a girl. She was a senior in high school. She was on the way to her last volleyball game of her senior year. And ICE pulls her car over and arrests her. And she missed her last game. There was another guy, because he was brown, he was on his way to his fucking high school graduation. He got arrested by ICE because he left his driver's license at home.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
And you know what's crazy about some of the stuff, again, like I said, I watch a lot of TikTok lives, and all these conservative, pro what's going on is all you gotta do if you it's all about due process. That's the big debate that's been going on in the past couple of months is due process. All you gotta do is prove that you're an American citizen. If you can't prove it, you gotta be deported. It's well, they're not getting the due process to prove whether or not they're an American citizen. They're just being snatched off the street. People don't understand what due process is. People think due process is you get arrested, you got to prove it, and that's your due process. No, due process is you have your day in court, and that's what it should be. I saw a video just today. There was a news reporter who was on the field during the protest was going on. There was a cameraman on her and everything, like a legit from a news station reporting on the stuff, and the camera caught it in the field of view. One of the members of ICE pointed a gun at her and shot a rubber bullet at her leg.
I saw that. She was from Sky News.
News 9. It was News 9.
News 9?
Specifically is what it was, yeah.
But it was, maybe I saw a different one because I feel like it was BBC or Sky News or something.
It might have been. She definitely had an accent. She had an accent, so maybe it was.
It's the same one I saw then. The same one.
Yeah. She got shot in the leg.
It was an affiliate, maybe.
She was just sitting out there reporting, talking, and then you see an ICE person.
Blatantly
he pivots, points a gun at her, bam, shoots her in the fucking leg.
She's got press credentials on. This harkens to the movie we both enjoyed last year, that Civil War movie.
Yes.
That was it revolved around journalists covering the Second American Civil War.
Yeah.
And
I'm at this point, I'm wondering when the first real shot's going to be fired. It's going to happen. It is going to happen.
I feel like it's probably happened tonight.
Like the first
people are gonna die.
Like the first round's gonna be fired. It's gonna happen.
Lexington and Concord is now gonna be like Long Beach and Compton.
Yes.
That was pretty clever.
It is.
That was pretty clever of me. Hey,
well, I really want to make light of it, but we're talking about like serious stuff. We're talking about like everything we've seen on like TikTok and other countries is now happening in America and in the United States. It's now on our home turf, and the difference between I guess other countries and us is like we're not used to it. I guess like. We're used to the process typically working out and solving the problems before we get to escalate to this point. We've now escalated to this point where, fuck it. I guess we just got to like go fucking hard in the paint, I guess.
And one thing only. Killing Nazis.
I also heard Donald Trump wants to make it illegal to be able to hide your face in a protest.
Yeah, you can't wear a mask.
You can't wear a mask if you're a protester.
They can have my mask when they pry from my cold dead face. How are you going to enforce
that? How the fuck are you going to enforce that?
ICE are wearing masks.
Exactly.
The Proud Boys wear masks.
Also, I guess they're trying to make it so that it's like a capital punishment or something that or federal crime if you release the name of somebody who is in ICE. Like if you find out who they are and you release the name, all of a sudden it's like boom.
You know, I keep calling you the White Weekend. I feel like that's like Proud Boy the name of a Proud Boy conference. I was like, maybe I should stop calling him the White Weekend.
Yeah, it's
the White Weekend. Much. It's a Proud Boy conference, right? The White Weekend.
The White Weekend. The White Weekend. I mean, here's what's going on. It definitely tones down the Elon Trump narrative that's been going on, the breakup. I still think that's massively important. It is definitely something that we need to look into, but the U.S. we're on the verge of civil war. We are as close to civil war as we've ever been in the past 100 years.
I think if martial law is declared, I think I owe you a beer or something, right? What was the bet? What was the bet?
I remember. I want to say this right now.
I forget what the bet was, but
I want to say this right now. It's
not looking good for me.
A few weeks ago, this is like a month and a half ago, we were talking on the podcast, and I was like, dude, like I've been watching a lot of people that not just like normal streamers, but like people who used to be in like the FBI, people that work for the FBI, and they're like, shit's getting real. Like, get your bug out bag ready. Like they're looking to declare martial law, and you were like, what? I think you need to, stop drinking the Kool-Aid. I think you need to like take a break from it. We're on the verge, dude. We're on the fucking verge. We are on the verge.
Can we switch gears here because I'm getting upset.
That's okay. We can switch gears.
I got one thing for sure I want to talk about, and then we got to talk about some shows and movies.
Look, we can switch gears. I understand. Like we'll talk about it later on the post show on the Patreon episode. We can talk.
We got a Patreon. How can they watch?
If you wanna listen to the Patreon episodes, we don't do it every week, but we try to do a bonus episode every week to our Patreon. Subscribe to us for Distraction or patreon.com/4distraction. $1 a month, 4 quarters, support the show. Every penny goes to improving the show, better equipment, stuff like that. I'm not taking anything to pay my own bills. I want to make the show as good as possible. So all the money is going to go to that. But you can find us on there and subscribe. We appreciate it.
We have a lot of stuff to get through. I'm going to get through some lighthearted stuff in the regular show, and we'll go back to the doom and gloom in the podcast. There might be some more updates, some more live updates by then.
Yeah, we're keeping an eye on it. We're going to try to.
Watch this space. I love saying that.
But it's one of the reason why we talk about it is it's very hard to not talk about it. It's very difficult to not. So,
all right. I went to a thing this past weekend, Adam.
Oh, yeah? What'd you do?
I went to the Monroeville Mall in Pittsburgh.
Really?
Which is like an hour and a half away. I went to the Zombie Fest, the Living Dead weekend.
I missed my invite. Where was my invite? Sorry.
I was going to invite you. I had to leave at like 8 in the morning to get there. And you work all night.
I was up.
It was on a Saturday.
I could have napped.
I was going to call you, but I'm like, dude,
I could have lied in the back.
What time did you work on Saturday night? 8 o'clock?
8 p.m.
I wasn't home by then.
Oh, well.
Your job sucks. Quit your job, and then I'll invite you.
You know what? Here's the thing. My job, it's great. It's fine as what it is. Every single time I make like a boost in my life, it's a better thing that I've done. It's a boost to my career, but there's always a lot of fucking negatives, and I'm getting kind of sick of it.
I was gonna invite you.
I know. I'm fucking with you. I know. Yeah. I know. I get
Anyway.
it. I get it. Went to the Monroeville Mall.
If you've ever watched the 1978 George Romero movie Dawn of the Dead, this is the mall that it takes place in.
Yes.
The entire movie. So every year they hold basically a Comic-Con, but it's just zombies in this mall. People dress up, walk through the mall, they recreate things. I've always wanted to go, and it's in Pittsburgh. It's like a little over an hour away from us.
Yeah, not far.
Like I've always wanted to go. So Monroeville Mall is kind of like a dead mall, like most malls today.
Yeah.
Malls aren't doing well. Recently, Walmart bought it.
Oh boy.
So I think what the beat on the street is, Walmart's going to level it and build a
Walmart Supercenter.
Yeah,
yeah.
Sam's Club Supercenter. Yeah. So this might be the last year for it. So I really
that
wanted.
should be a landmark. That's what that should be.
They're working. They had a panel where they're like, we have an attorney. We're working on getting this, like, because it's a big deal. It's a big fucking deal.
It is.
So I went to this. I went with our pop culture correspondent Brandon and my sister Jackie and my mom and Jack. We all went. Friend Jason, friend of the show Jason. We all went. It was a lot of fun. They have a Living Dead museum, dude. It's like in an old department store, but not like a Sears, like a big department store. It's a fucking museum. They have the cabin from Evil Dead 2.
Really?
In it, yes.
Really?
They have the actual, one of them. There was multiple used in the film. One of the Necronomicons is there.
Oh my god!
Did you ever watch there was a movie and then it turned into a TV show called Mind Hunter?
I've heard of it. I don't.
Yeah, they have the plain seats there. I actually sat in one, got a picture. They have the actual elevator from the zombie scene of Dawn of the Dead. Like, it was incredible, the stuff they had there. They have Kevin Smith was there several years ago. He wasn't there this year because they have the authentic Monroeville Zombies goalie equipment that was worn in the Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Really?
Yes. To the Randall, what's his name?
What?
Randall, the fucking
actor name?
Yeah, Anderson.
I don't remember the actor.
Anderson.
Name. I don't remember the actor.
Jeff Anderson, right?
Okay. I don't remember the actor.
Jeff. Okay, it's what he wore in the, it's there. It was so freaking cool, dude. The stuff you're seeing, like, oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. They had the actual from 1968 Night of the Living Dead, the actual radio that was playing, and they had it on loop playing the safe places you go.
Really?
And
that's so cool.
They said they were going through all of them. They're like Evans City, Elwood City, Newcastle. They said the Methodist Church in Sharon, Pennsylvania on the thing. And I'm like, I fucking live there.
I fucking live in that area. I drive past that shit every day.
It was so fucking cool. There was a lot of stuff going on. They had Tom Savini was there, who's like a horror icon. He was one of the biker gang guys in the movie. He was holding his sword on his sidecar of his motorcycle, taking pictures with people.
Really?
Dude, it was so fucking sick. So I have a clip that I want to show here. It's of one of the panels I attended with Greg Nicotero, who's one of the creators of The Walking Dead. Got his start on this movie in 1978. And he's talking about George Romero, may he rest in peace.
Yes.
We love him here on this show. He's a hollowed name here. How much he hated The Walking Dead. And he was like, Greg Nicotero learned from Tom Savini, who learned from George Romero.
Yeah.
So Greg Nicotero, before George
we talked
Romero,
about it just a few weeks ago. Like it's incredibly interesting to be living at the dawn of like a genre. Like the zombie genre is a genre, and we were here when it was born.
And they're all from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is the epicenter of the zombie.
It is,
which is cool because we live really close to there. And the funny, Greg, I don't think I got this on the clip, so I want to tell it now. Greg Nicotero told the story about how he's like, Kirkman and I are creating this show. It was like season 1, it's just starting to gain popularity to season 2. And I called George. I'm like, George, do you want to come direct a couple episodes?
He was like, I'm going to get some clout.
He goes, nah, I'm good. He's like, are you sure? Like this, like people would love to have your name on this. He's like, no. He's like, your zombies are your zombies. My zombies are my zombies. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, my zombies are different than yours. You're like a soap opera.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I would be the saddest. I'd be so depressed if I was on the other end of that phone call. I'd be so sad.
I don't know if I got all this on the clip, but Adam, why don't you play the clip for us
play
here?
The clip.
The sound quality, yeah, I know.
It's a little low. You might want to turn your volumes up a little bit for the clip just to kind of hear what's going on.
What the function eventually was, the ultimate end game was going to be there. Survival of the Dead is after Land of the Dead. Right. But no, because it's always very small because it's on the island. Yeah. But I always thought that George really the intention was who's more human. And Walking Dead does that in a very different way because Walking Dead is more what do you turn into with the zombie apocalypse? Whereas George's movies for the zombies are the society. So it's very different. That's what when we talked to George in season 2 about directing The Walking Dead, it's like, okay.
I did get it.
Your zombies are your zombies, my zombies are my zombies. It's cool. Okay. And then he's trash Walking Dead. Dude. So
I did get it. Okay, I did.
I would be devastated. I would be devastated if I was like in the zombie business and I was like the king of the zombie genre. I asked him, he's like, "Nah, I'm good. You do you. It's not what I'm about. You're doing something different from me." I'd be like, "What the fuck am I doing wrong?" Apparently.
So Greg Nicotero told another story. The guy sitting next to him, I forget his name was Sean something. He's the makeup effects guy, which the makeup's incredible. They were doing the movie Sin City. Okay, George. Sin City. Yeah, George Miller. I do too. He's like, and we were working. We're doing makeup for Sin City. Mickey Rourke. We're doing Mickey Rourke's makeup, and he was one of the hardest people to do makeup because he couldn't sit still. He's like, but I had just heard from one of my friends who had gone to Sundance or Telluride Film Fest, one of the film festivals. They're like, "Hey, I just saw this movie." He's like, "You got to know, they're really paying homage to you guys." He's like, "It's called Shaun of the Dead." He's like, "It's great though." So he's like, "Oh, so I wanted to see it." So he's like, "So I went online. I'm going to order a copy of this movie." He's like, "So I found a copy online of Shaun of the Dead DVD." He's like, "So when we're in the trailer," he's like, "I put it on." He's like, "And it's amazing." He's like, "I love this movie." He's like, and a little bit later, Quentin Tarantino walks in. I'm like, "Hey, Q, you gotta see this movie." He's like, Quentin Tarantino gets sucked into it. A little bit later, Robert Rodriguez walks in. He's like, Rob, he's name dropping like crazy.
Yeah.
He's like, "Rob,
let me pick up these names for you,
So
sir."
Rob sits down next to Q, and they're watching it together. He's like, all of a sudden, he's like, Jessica Alba walks in. He's like, she's got to get her makeup done. We're all sitting there. There's Mickey Rourke, Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, Jessica Alba, Sean, and I. He's like, and we're just watching this movie called Shaun of the Dead,
which is an amazing movie.
He's like, and we were late to call to shoot the next scene because everyone was sucked into this movie because it was so amazing. He's like, and then I find out a little bit later, the movie hadn't even been released to theaters yet. I bought a bootleg copy. He's like, and I showed it to everybody. He's like, and a little bit later, he's like, I get a note from Simon Pegg. He's like, "I just want to thank you, because you did more promoting our movie, showing it to some of the greatest directors of our lifetime, than..." He's like, a little bit later, he's like, I'm walking out, he's like, there's Bruce Willis watching it. He's like, because Quentin Tarantino had told him to watch it, and like George Miller saw it. He's like, everybody's watching Shaun of the Dead while we're filming the movie Sin City. He's like, and to this day, he's like, I'm great friends with Nick Frost and Simon Pegg because of this.
Yeah.
He's like, they invited me to come out to their screening at some. He's like, I went the day it opened up in California. He's like, where I live. He's like, I bought 30 tickets. He's like, and I mailed 20 of them back to Simon. And I said, this is probably will make do for the 20 people I showed a bootleg copy of your film.
Nice. That's so good.
He's like, and to this day, we're great friends. He's like, I was doing a movie. He's like, I was doing the Daryl Dixon saga, which is in France.
Yeah.
He's like, So France is right there. He's like, so I went and stayed with Simon for like weeks at a time. He's like, my kids call him Uncle Simon.
Like, hey, can I?
Yeah, I'm like, that's such a
crash at your
fucking
house.
Cool. It was the coolest panel you could imagine.
Yeah,
like it was so cool.
I'm so disappointed. If you
look, I'm sorry.
If you give me a heads up like 2 or 3 weeks at a time, I can request a day off and we could fucking go.
It was a last minute thing for me as well.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
All right, in the future, but that's the last time they're doing it because
oh my god,
closing the mall. But I'm sorry that clip wasn't very good.
No,
I didn't remember what I recorded.
We got most of the audio. Most of the audio was very legible. Yeah.
Basically, George Romero hated The Walking Dead. I thought that's so funny.
It's so crazy. You're getting pinged, dude. Any more updates?
I mean, same stuff. Nothing big.
Same stuff.
Nothing big.
Marines on foot.
Yeah.
Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground. I think Crenshaw Boulevard has been dispersed. That's what it said. Yeah. There's Hollywood Boulevard that still has some people protesting. So
okay, stay strong. Stay strong.
Yeah. Please stay safe out there, everyone.
Solidarity, brothers. Let's do it.
So I went to the Zombie Fest. It was a lot of fun. It was.
Dude,
yeah,
this sounds amazing.
It was pretty cool.
That's so cool.
There was a lot of. I met some guy from Resident Evil. He was the main guy from Resident Evil. I shook his hand.
So, speaking of Resident Evil, the boys, the actor that plays Homelander.
Oh yeah.
He recently
Jeffree Star.
Yeah, he recently said, and I don't know if they're doing a new Resident Evil movie or if they're going to reboot the series or whatever, but he recently said that he wants to play Wesker in Resident Evil. Which, if you've played any of the games, you look at that character, fucking spitting image. He would play a fantastic.
This
Wesker.
guy I just met, he was Wesker.
Really?
Yeah,
he was the Wesker.
The guy who played him in the first ones. Yes.
Yeah,
he was there. I met the big daddy zombie from Land of the Dead, Eugene something or other. Dude, he's a fucking unit. He's like 70 years old now. The movie was in the 2000s. He must have been already old. Yeah. But he's like a giant. He's like 6'7".
Holy shit.
He's a big dude. But it was fun. I'm like, man, I wish Adam was here. I was gonna call you, but now I regret not calling you.
Look, if it was a last minute thing, there was nothing I could do about it.
I mean,
there would be nothing I could do about it.
I'm like, he's gonna have to work. I didn't get home till like 9. I left at like 8 a.m. Got home at 9 p.m.
Yeah,
it's far, but there was like
so much to do.
There was so much to do. It was a lot of fun. They like took over all these old stores and just like made them event halls.
Maybe I should go on unemployment. Quit my job, go on unemployment.
That's not a good idea.
Maybe I'll just do that.
That's not a good idea.
I want to talk about one other thing before we get to core cinema. I want to talk about The Last of Us. So we briefly talked about it last week, and we were waiting. We were waiting for the new episode. We talked about it, like, waiting for the new episode. So like, it ended on a cliffhanger because we talked about it in The Last of Us. It ended with basically Abby coming to the theater, attacking Ellie and her crew, and then it jump back to like a cliffhanger where they're going back in time to Seattle day 1, but Abby's versus we're like, oh cool, let's see what's going on with Abby and stuff like that. We were waiting. We were waiting. And we were waiting. Now as we're waiting, I'm playing the game because I'd never played Last of Us Part 2 before, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play the game alongside the show, and I'm just gonna not go any further. And I'm waiting. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna wait that long. I'm just gonna keep playing. So I'm playing and I'm waiting. No new episode. I had to look it up. I had to Google. Turns out, episode 7 of Last of Us 2 was the season finale. Mm-hmm. I got to look on my face for those of you not watching the stream because, yes, a lot of shows end a season on a cliffhanger. Yes, a lot of seasons end like that. This did not feel like a season end cliffhanger. This felt like an end of episode cliffhanger that was going to follow up in the follow episode. Nothing about what happened in that episode felt like the season end kind of thing. And I know why they did it. They did it because I finished Last of Us Part 2 yesterday, the video game. I finished it, and I know why they did it. There is a lot to the second game. The first game, you can complete that in a single season. The second game, there's a fuck ton more. There's a lot more to tell. So like, I'm not going to spoil anything for you, sir. I know what's going to happen. I'm not going to spoil anything for you. There's a little bit I want to talk about though. So the video game, second game, there's about 40% of the game. The first 40% is Ellie. You're playing as Ellie. You're hunting down Abby. The next 40% of the game is Abby. You're playing as Abby. You're going through Abby's struggles that she went through in those 3 days in Seattle. You're playing her story. And then like the last 20% is a little bit of Abby and then more of Ellie. So like basically the game is almost split 50-50 between Abby and Ellie. So I guess the showrunners and what the big creator, the big writer behind Last of Us game is also obviously involved in the TV show. I guess they decided that Abby's story needed an entire season as well to tell her story. So I'm guessing season 3 is going to be all of Abby's story in those 3 days in Seattle. That's my guess. And they've already been greenlit for a season 4, I guess. So the season 4 is going to be the finisher of that story. What I'm going to say is like, how do you feel about Abby? What do you think about Abby so far?
I mentioned this either the last podcast or the podcast before. A friend of mine were having the conversation, and like you, he says it's his favorite video game of all time.
Right.
And we were talking about it, and I've only watched the show. I've never played the game. He goes, I hate Joel and Abby. Or I hate Joel and Ellie. I love Abby.
Yeah.
I am team Abby. I was like, are you a sociopath? But I'm just going off of the
TV show.
TV show.
Yeah.
I'm like, I fucking hate Abby. I want her to die. And I am like following Ellie's story at this point. It was Joel before this, and now it's Ellie. And it's like, I don't like Abby at all. I hate her. She's the villain at this point. And he's like, just wait. And now you're telling me to just wait.
I before we started the podcast, I was talking about it briefly, and you mentioned the same thing, and I told you, I was like, I finished the game. Just fucking wait, dude.
I have a question for you, and this isn't any spoilers. At this point, on this day, are you team Ellie or team Abby? Be honest.
I'm still team Ellie.
Okay.
Mostly because I spent the most time with Ellie, though. That's most of the reason why.
But you understand why people can be team Abby?
I understand it wholly. Because,
okay.
Quite honestly, once you understand the full story, which you understand most of the story now, quite frankly, like most of the backstory, technically Abby has a greater justification for revenge because like her dad didn't really do much of anything wrong for the most part. Yeah, like it was a wrong for a greater good in terms of like sacrificing Ellie's life in order to create a vaccine to save all of future mankind. But like Joel just rolled in there at the end of the season 1 and killed everybody, including her dad. Mm-hmm. So Abby rolls up to the hospital and her dad's just been killed by this random dude.
Yeah.
So like if you follow, like imagine you watch the first TV show in Abby's perspective, and this random guy named Joel rolls up and kills your dad. She becomes a protagonist because it's a revenge story for killing her dad. It doesn't matter the story. So that's part of the reason why you have to understand that. But like, not just her past, but the 3 days she spends in Seattle, is a massive growth moment for her, and she becomes more understanding. She becomes like a significantly more sympathetic character, to the point where I told you at the end of the game, at the start of the game, it was protagonist, antagonist. You had Ellie and you had Abby. Ellie's protagonist, Abby's antagonist. At the end of the game, you think of it as, no, there are two protagonists in this game. It's just that they hate each other. That's what it ends up being. I finished it yesterday, and all night yesterday and all day today, my emotions have been crazy because like it's such an emotional roller coaster, like that whole entire game. And I was thinking about it. When the Halo TV show came out, like you really liked it, and I wasn't a big fan of it. And Last of Us 2, your friend is a big fan of the game but does not like the TV show.
Correct.
One of the biggest things I because I've been thinking about like why doesn't like Scott understand the hatred we have for these adaptations, like what is the difference? And I figured it out. And the reason why I figured it out was this. You've watched Last of Us season 1 and season 2.
Correct.
Every episode, like season 1's like what, 7 or 8 episodes. This past season was 7 episodes. So
Correct.
Let's say they're like 45 to 50-minute episodes. So let's round up to an hour. So you spent a total of like less than 15 hours with these characters.
That's
watching
about
the
right,
story.
yeah.
And like after each episode you watch, like, oh, that was good, and you move about with your day. My playtime for Last of Us, just part 2, was 60 hours.
Oh, dude.
And here's the thing, that's a little inflated because I was playing it while I was working, and occasionally I have to stop playing it and like do some work stuff. So like I was on pause a little bit. So let's take like 10 hours off that. Even if you take 10 hours off that, I spent about 50 hours playing Last of Us 2. That means that I've spent significantly more time immersing myself with these characters. Not only like not just watching them, but I'm playing the game. I'm interacting with the characters. I'm making like choices. I'm actively like trying to like when shit happens in the TV show and they're fighting, you're like, oh my god, that's so crazy. When shit happens in the video game and you're fighting, you're like, I need to do something to fucking make sure that I live.
I'm participating.
Yes, it's a somewhat
Like the sex scenes, you're involved, so you're like you're helping out. You're sucking dick if you need to. Yeah,
I wish, but not. But no,
it's not that kind of game.
Not that kind of game. No, but like my point is like it's a more immersive. So like game is similar to people who read a lot of books. I read The Hobbit.
You did, yeah. That's a big book.
It's not that big.
Not that big.
Really small. It's really small compared
It's
to
actually
Lord
quite
of the Rings.
readable.
Very readable. Very readable. But like my point is like I read The Hobbit. It was a good story. And then Peter Jackson decided to do the Hobbit movies, and then inflated them to 3 fucking movies.
He made it insanely long. That's why I thought the book was so long.
Yes.
The movie is like wildly long.
Yes, he inflated it, and so
there's an hour of dwarfs eating.
Yeah, yeah. It's fucking stupid, is what it is.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's
a lot going on.
It's the reason why like people like us have these like when I had like my opinion of Halo. Mm-hmm. My opinion of Halo was as passionate because I spent hours with those characters, playing as those characters, immersing myself into the world as those characters. So that's the reason why video gamers have such passions about the video games you love when they turn them into these things. That's the reason why, you know, like we spend significantly more time with these characters than you do.
All right, let's move on. We're running along here. We still got a call coming in later. Okay, so I want to talk about 2 things, but I'm going to be real brief at the one.
Okay.
I'm watching the show Andor, season 2. I don't want to talk too much about it because you haven't watched season 2 yet. I like it a lot, and I want you to watch it. I still think season 1 is better because if you remember season 1, it starts out as like there's the whole thing with the prison break.
Yeah.
Which who doesn't love a good prison break?
That was like mid-season of that show, though.
Fair. But then after that, it's the big heist.
Yeah.
Heists are great.
Heists are great.
Okay. Now we're in season 2, and it's more of like the rebellion.
Yeah.
And what's going on in LA is basically what's happening in Andor right now. Like the Empire is like fucking murdering citizens and being awful. You saw a little bit of that in the first season.
Yeah.
It's like amped up times 100 in the second season. Just you wait. But I really enjoyed it. I still think I like season 1 more, but I really like season 2. But here's what got me. When I finished this, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to watch Rogue One, right?
Yeah.
Because it like totally leads into this.
Yes.
Adam, Rogue One is a masterpiece.
I told you that a while ago.
It is a fucking
it was one of the best Star Wars movies they've made.
Phenomenal.
It's really good.
It's like if you put Andor with Rogue One and then lead into New Hope, Empire, like that saga, forget what happens before, forget what happens after. Right there, snug in the middle.
Yes.
Is fucking perfect.
It is.
And
it's an incredibly emotional story that they wrote for Rogue One.
It hits even harder after you're more developed to Cassian.
Spoiler alert, all the heroes in Rogue One die at the end. Nobody survives that shit.
But we've just had 2 seasons of learning to love this character. Meanwhile, we've seen the movie already, and you're like, you fucking know how it ends.
Yeah.
And you're just so fucking depressed about it because you love him. You just love him. He's great.
He is.
Diego Luna.
He's great. He is fantastic.
Happy Pride Month. No homo, but I would.
Does he go back to the prison and rescue what's his fuck? Dude who couldn't swim. He played Caesar. What's his name? Fuck. What's the actor's name?
I don't know what you mean. No, he doesn't.
He doesn't go back and rescue him?
I don't know who you mean.
At the prison, the dude who was like running his fucking camp.
Dead air. I don't remember season 1 because I'm just fresh on season 2 right now.
Really?
Yeah.
This is the Mark Wahlberg. I don't want that Mark Wahlberg. Planet of the Apes.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. That's the one I want. Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis is in that?
He played the dude who ran...
He played the dude playing the other dude. Andy Serkis always plays the dude playing another dude.
Andy Serkis was the guy that you know how like in season 1 when he was at that prison they had to make those components and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You remember him?
Yeah.
And then they were escaping and they realized they were in the middle of the fucking ocean.
We never see the prison again.
Right. But you remember he's in the middle of the ocean and he couldn't swim, so he couldn't escape them. He got taken back basically.
So the real hero of this is Stellan Skarsgård's character.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember you saw him in season 1.
I remember him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking great. First of all, everything Stellan Skarsgård does is amazing.
Yes. He was a fantastic character.
I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean is so good.
Yeah.
Marvel is so good. Fucking Mamma Mia melts my face. Don't at me with Mamma Mia.
Don't at him.
So I don't want to go too much into Andor, but you need to watch it. The last thing before we get into I know we're running along here, but I gotta keep moving.
It'll be a quick course cinema.
It'll be a quick course of good. Brave New World, I watched it. You talked about it last week, and I was like,
what did
it's
you
out?
What did you think?
I got notes.
You got notes?
I got notes. I'm going to try to be brief. Okay. First of all, I hated the new Marvel opening. What happened to the comic book pages flipping by and you see all the Avengers?
Yeah.
It didn't do that. They made a new one, and I hated it.
All right.
It's not a deal breaker, but whatever. They introduced Adamantium.
Yes.
Finally. They solved the age-old debate.
So was it
Vibranium or Adamantium? Which one's stronger?
Which movie was it? The Eternals?
Eternals.
It was where that creature. I didn't watch Eternals. So like
you didn't watch it? Eternals?
No, I just heard it sucked.
Oh, a giant fucking celestial. It sucks.
Yeah, I heard it sucks. So that's why I didn't watch it. But like I assumed it was the Eternals. The Celestial was the one thing that came out.
Yeah, and it's a big. When Eternals ended,
a big God being.
When Eternals ended, people are like. There's been a couple Disney Plus shows and a couple weird one-off movies.
Nobody's talking about this.
Why is no one talking about the giant fucking celestial who's like in the ocean?
Yeah.
And they finally did.
Yeah.
So that made us happy. And they're made of adamantium.
Apparently, yeah.
Oh, that's foreshadowing. Okay. Next thing I have, you needed very little from Disney Plus. I thought Falcon and Winter Soldier was going to be more important.
Yeah.
To play a part in this.
You would think.
And
Bucky's in the show. In the movie,
that's one of my next
about 2 minutes.
That's one of my next buttons. Have you seen Thunderbolts yet?
No.
Okay.
I'm not gonna watch it either.
Yes, you are.
Probably not.
We do a fucking podcast about content. It's your job.
I don't want to.
You can hate every second of it, but you have to watch it.
I have the time. I just don't know if I want to.
Adam, you gotta watch it. Just hate every second.
Have you watched it?
No. But I'm going to. It's not on Disney Plus yet.
So don't give me shit.
I didn't even know Brave New World was, so give me some slack.
I watched Brave New World before you, so fuck off.
The fucking leader. About damn time we got the fucking leader. I was blown away, and they never call him the leader.
Which one was he? Who is he?
He's the fucking leader. He's the big head guy from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? The fucking villain, which, by the way, I want to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Okay, he was from Incredible Hulk.
I thought Giancarlo Esposito's character was going to be the main villain. He wasn't. It was the leader, the fucking leader.
I can't remember the name they used in the movie for it. He was from
Strahd or Strode or something.
From Incredible Hulk. He was
but
from Incredible Hulk.
I don't know why they never call him the leader. He's the leader in the comic books.
I don't know who the leader is.
Did you not watch the Incredible Hulk animated series from the 1990s?
Nope, I didn't watch it. I don't know who the leader is. I have no idea.
You need to watch that.
Well, I'm not going to, but that's fine.
Did you watch the Iron Man show?
No, I didn't. I didn't like Iron Man. I didn't like Iron Man in the 90s. I think he was a boring character. He was boring as shit.
The fucking man.
I didn't watch Iron Man. The only two Marvel Comics shows I watched in the 90s was Spider-Man and X-Men. That was it.
And those are two great ones.
They were the best. So nothing else. I didn't need anything else.
Well, anyway, he's
my big leader mumble. You were like, "Oh my God, it's leader."
It doesn't hit you then.
My big thing was like, "Oh, that was the guy from Incredible Hulk. They're doing a callback. That's cool." I thought it was more of a callback.
Well,
than it was
I loved it more than you then.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. All right, what's your next point?
I have another problem.
What's your problem?
Japan
I'm waiting for your problem to be equal to my problem because I have one big problem too.
But that's an ongoing problem I've had for a while now.
Yes.
But anyway, this one is so Japan, their navy and their military, they don't really have a navy and a military.
No.
To be like that tough.
Yeah.
There was a little armistice and a treaty after World War II, after we bombed the shit out of them when they surrendered. And we basically said, you can't have that. You can have a defense force. But if you got problems, like, let us know. We'll come help. So the fact that they have this, like, legitimate navy that's, like, able to fight us is not real.
Scott, so here's the problem with your comment is the similar problem that you give me with my comments. It's fictional, Scott.
I know.
It's a different universe. You don't know what happened. You don't know what was going on. They could have made different treaties in that universe. So
I'm going to skip the next one because I think it's what you're alluding to. What are your William Hurt versus Harrison Ford? Who's the better Thunderbolt Ross?
William Hurt.
See, I think Harrison, but you know me. I'm a Harrison Ford stan.
I like, yeah, you are. I like the idea of maybe keeping the same fucking actor for each goddamn character.
William Hurt died.
I know. I understand that.
He did a good job up until he died.
I understand that, yes. I get it. Problem is, Harrison Ford is about 98 years old.
So was William Hurt.
What I'm saying
why
is,
he died.
What I'm saying is, if you're going to recast Thunderbolt Ross, maybe don't do it with somebody who's going to die next, because you're going to have to recast him again.
All right, here we go.
All right, get into it.
This was a problem, and it was
I think it's a pretty big problem.
pretty big. Where the fuck were the rest of the Avengers?
Not only that, where the fuck were the rest of the Hulks? There's like, what, 3 Hulks right now? I didn't watch She-Hulk. I didn't watch She-Hulk. But I do know for a fact there's a Hulk, there's a She-Hulk, and isn't there like a Son of the Hulk character? Where are the rest of the fucking Hulks as a Hulk is tearing up the goddamn White House?
That's a great question. I think
Not even the rest of the Avengers, because remember, he was talking about, like, we got to rebuild the Avengers. So the Avengers are fucking just kind of, like, Ross is saying we got to rebuild the Avengers. So, like, they're kind of disbanded. They're kind of, like, makeshift. Nothing that. Where's, even if you're Hulk, and you're like, I'm trying to stay out of the limelight, I'm trying to do my peaceful thing and stuff like that. If a Red Hulk is tearing up the White House, that's your cue to be like, all right, I got to get involved.
You didn't watch She-Hulk.
No.
Bruce and his son Scar, I think they fucked off to Sakaara. Was that what it's called?
Are they in space? Are they in space?
What's the planet called? Sakaar from Ragnarok?
Yeah, Sakaar.
I think they fucked off to Sakaar.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there's some shit gonna go down.
Okay, that's fine. Where's She-Hulk?
So she doesn't want to be a superhero. She wants to be an attorney.
Right. But, but when shit goes down, if a Hulk is destroying the White House, maybe that's your cue to be like, hey, maybe we gotta
okay, so Bucky's running for Congress.
That's another thing. If a Hulk is tearing up the White House, where the fuck is Bucky?
So Bucky's doing a fundraiser event in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I'm guessing to run for Congress. Like, everyone's gonna donate money if they watch you and your fucking metal arm punch a Red Hulk.
Yeah.
In DC.
Yeah.
Do that instead.
Even
you will make money. You will win. You will win.
Yes. It made no sense. The biggest thing I hated about this movie, the resolution was, let me talk about our feelings. Let's talk about our feelings. Let's talk about our feelings.
That's kind of Sam's thing, though. He was like a.
That's fine.
He was like a therapist, right?
I don't know about that. But no, he wasn't. He wasn't a therapist. What are you talking about? When? When was he a therapist?
When he did those group meetings and he talked to people about their feelings all the damn time. In every movie he's ever been in.
That was Steve Rogers. That was Captain America. He did that shit.
He did it too. Steve. That's how they met each other. That's how Steve and Sam met at a group therapy session.
No, you're right. Yeah. But I don't like the way that. I don't like that's a resolution to a Red Hulk destroying the White House. I don't like that's the resolution. Like, that's not fun. That's not fun. I want to see Red Hulk get beaten down by another Hulk. That's what I wanted to see.
I want some Hulk on Hulk action.
I knew it was, obviously we all knew it was going to be the Red Hulk. I knew it was going to be Red Hulk. I was waiting for Bruce Banner to come charging in, boom, blow in as like Sam's losing, because rightfully so, Sam should be losing to the fucking Red Hulk. I was waiting for Big Hulk to come jump in like, all right, let's do this. Here's my secret. I'm always mad. Bam, punch him in the face, some shit like that. I was waiting for some Hulk on Hulk shit going down.
All right, Harrison Ford is now in Thunderbolt Ross is now in the raft. He's in prison.
Yeah,
he's not president anymore. Who is his vice president?
I don't fucking know.
Is it Valentina?
I don't know.
I feel like it's Valentina.
I don't know. They didn't.
And like,
they didn't mention.
Did you watch Veep?
No,
you didn't watch Veep. Julia Louis-Dreyfus was the vice president there. And like, I feel like she's the vice president here, and I just can't think of anything else but Veep. I know that's a weird take, but let me have it. Let me have it. I think it's her. I think I looked it up because I wasn't sure, and I think they talk about it in the Thunderbolts. Spoilers, but that'd be fun. That'd be fun. Lastly, I want to say the after credits scene was too cryptic, and I thought it sucked.
What was the after credit scene? I fast forward to the end. There was no after credit scene.
Was an after credit scene?
What was it?
It's Thunderbolt Ross in the raft being talked to by Sam.
Oh yeah, I thought that. So that was
dumb, right?
Yeah, it was dumb. So the reason why I forgot that was the after credit scene because I thought that was just the end of the movie. Because
that was the after credit.
Typically, an after credit scene should be like an alluding to a future thing, but that wasn't that. No, so that's why I forgot that was the after credit scene. Yeah.
So that's that Brave New World.
All in all, Brave New World sucked.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it sucked.
No, it didn't suck.
It sucked.
You said it's meh.
It's
now
meh.
you said it sucked.
It's meh. That's meh.
I don't think it was meh.
For a Marvel movie, when you have all the money in the fucking world to make some cool ass shit, meh equals suck.
I don't agree with that. Let
me ask something. Would you ever want to watch it again for a second time?
I watch the Marvel movies over and over again all the time.
Would you ever want to watch it?
Not anytime.
Do you have any desire? Like for example,
I just watched it.
Like for example, I saw Thor: Dark World once. I have zero desire to ever watch it again.
I've watched it twice, maybe 3 times.
You are a cuck.
And I don't like that movie.
You are a cuck, and I'm not here for it. I'm not here for that nonsense.
You know, there's 2 movies I've watched one time, and it's Eternals and Quantumania.
I watched Quantumania once. Have zero desire to watch it.
I have not watched
Eternals.
I've watched Eternals once and Quantumania once, and in my opinion, those are the worst 2.
What was the 10 Rings movie?
Shang-Chi was awesome.
I watched that. I
watched it twice.
I thought it was pretty good. I have zero desire to ever watch it again. I never want to watch it again.
It's going to get called back. You're going to have to watch it again before whatever.
I'm never going to watch it again. I'm never going to watch it again.
At what point when you started a pop culture podcast were you like, maybe I shouldn't do this because I hate fucking watching movies?
I love watching movies, but I don't like watching bad movies. Here's the thing. I'll watch a bad movie once, but there's no desire to watch it again. We just
watched a bad movie for Course of Cinema.
And I'm never going to watch it again. We watched The Arrival with Charlie Sheen and
his goatee.
Alien sci-fi conspiracy movie. It was bad.
It was bad.
It was bad. It was fun watching with you because we kind of Mystery Science Theater 3000 it a little bit. We were kind of making fun of it, but it was
we roasted it the whole time.
It's a movie that doesn't start until about 45 minutes into the goddamn flick.
That's being generous.
Very generous, quite frankly. A lot of problems. Basically, Charlie Sheen plays this like aerospace scientist who's like, you know, working one of those like big old satellites you see in like Men in Black and shit like that, where they're trying to scan the space to try to find some like alien signal that they can see, and they come across some weird signal,
right.
And so he takes it to like the leader of NASA or whoever the fuck, and it kind of becomes like this big conspiracy thing because they like lie about it. It's like, oh, he is faking and stuff like that, or oh, we can't do that shit and everything. It becomes like this whole thing where he kind of has to like do his own investigation. He gets kind of like blackballed out of like the scientific community, and so he has to like do his own research and like
do your own research.
Yeah, as the conservatives love to say, he has to kind of like do his own research and stuff like that to try to figure out like what's going on. He's able to recreate the experiment where he's able to hear this sound that's coming from space. And then it takes like a wild turn because then he has to go down to like Mexico because there's like an overlapping frequency, but there's like this conspiracy. There's like these like it's not like a pseudo Men in Black thing, but there's this background organization. I'm not gonna say organization, but like this background group that's like trying to fell him at every turn to try to deter him. Turns out those are all aliens that are like trying to terraform the Earth. Global warming essentially is involved. The global warming is explained by like, oh, the aliens trying to terraform the Earth because they like a warmer climate and they're trying to kill us all. Yada yada. It's a wildly bad movie, is what it is. It's a wildly bad movie. It's fun to watch with a friend if you get drunk or high. It's fun to watch. It's other than that, it's really bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
Also, Charlie Sheen raped somebody in the 80s, so why are we, giving him clout? He should be in jail. He should be,
He's positive.
Yeah.
He's HIV positive.
I was waiting for that.
And he raped Corey Feldman in the 80s.
Yes, he did. He raped Corey Feldman, so...
He might have raped Corey Haim, too. He might have raped both Corys.
That goatee was like a rapist goatee.
Totally was, right?
Yeah.
We talked about goatees last week. They're not what they used to be.
No, you can...
The old gray mare, she ain't what she used to be.
Goatees today are like
the
those...
porn stash.
Porn stash in the 70s. Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yep. Yeah, that's what they are today.
They sure are.
My boss has a goatee.
I used to rock a goat.
I used to.
Just keep a full beard.
And then I became a man and grew a beard.
That's good work. We're running long. We're going to do a bonus episode on our Patreon.
Yes, sir.
So tune into that. Adam, why don't you give the people what they need to know about
are we not doing Course next week? Are we not doing another movie next week? Is that we're not going to do?
Oh, shit. You didn't tell me what we're watching.
I don't know. You kind of got ahead of me.
I'm sorry.
There.
We're so late. We're running so long.
We don't have to do it. I guess we don't. All right. So Course for next week is going to be, it's actually a new movie that came out this past year. Came straight to streaming on Max. It is a 2025 movie starring Jack Quaid. Quaid.
I like him. He's in The Boys and he's in Lower Decks.
It's called Companion.
Okay, cool.
And I want you really to not look anything up in this. I really want you to not look any trailers. I don't want you to Google it. Not that you would. I'm just saying.
He's in that movie Novocaine. I thought that's what you were going to say.
No, I'm just saying don't Google this movie. Trust me.
Okay.
Companion on Max.
I'm excited.
If you want to get a hold of For Distraction, you can email fordistraction@fordistraction@gmail.com. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. Search For Distraction. This is where we post the live streams to the videos. We also post videos after the fact on our YouTube. Links to all our stuff is in the description of all the shows. We post the audio to our podbean.com/fordistraction is what it should be. Subscribe to us on there or subscribe to us on any of your other podcasting platforms. We should be on all of them. We also post to iTunes. We post to Spotify. Search For Distraction on there. If there's anywhere you can't find For Distraction, let me know and I will do what I can to make sure that we are posted on there. We are a member of the Electronic Media Collective. So head over to electronicmediacollective.com and you can find us on there as well as a bunch of other really, really good shows. Scott.
Yeah, Adam, we're not on Twitter anymore. We got the boot from Twitter. I like to say that all the time. Oh shit, it's Robert Hopkins. Oh, Robert, we're out of time.
I'm sorry, Robert.
We're out of time. Please don't be mad, buddy. Don't be mad. Call in next week. I'm going to end it. I'll call in next week and we'll get you on. So we ran out of time. If you guys want to hear what Robert Hopkins has to say, tune in next week. We just ran out of time. So I'm sorry, Bobby. Don't be mad.
We apologize.
Don't be mad. I'm sorry.
Don't be mad. Also, don't be big mad.